All right. So now in this upper right-hand quadrant, we're going to include it's a combination column chart or a clustered column chart. So let me kind of show you where I'm reading this from. We want a clustered column chart of the total annual sales and total annual profits generated by each category, right here. So to get to this, we're going to go to the category financial performance summary. All right, so this is a different worksheet in our Excel files. Let's go back to our Excel. Let's go to our category analysis. And so what we want is, I forgot already, the annual sales and the annual profits. So looking at this, what we're looking at is annual sales, which is this value here, and then the annual profits. And we want this to be a clustered column chart based on the category. Now, just as a reminder for everybody, this is using my data set. Your numbers would not or should not match my numbers. So if your numbers are incorrect or appear to be incorrect or are not matched, doesn't mean that what you've done is incorrect. What's important here is that you have the proper formulas in place. Okay. So in order to create this clustered column chart, I'm going to select on the category. I'm going to select on the total sales, and then I'm going to select on total profits. Insert, recommended charts. I'm going to look at what's here. So this is actually the chart that I want. It has the category, and it has them all clustered. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK. Now, one of the things that is really kind of a bad scenario for any kind of chart that's in a clustered column is typically we want to have these ordered from greatest, meaning that you would have a high column here to the least. So you'd have a low column here. So you kind of have this downward view. And this is important when it comes to data analytics or visual analytics, is because it gives you a sense about what is first, second, and third, and so on in terms of ranking. Now, if you want to rank this based on what category makes the most profit, then you can easily see which is first, second, and third. Also, if you want to look at what category makes the most sales, again, by sorting it that way, you can do that. So what I'm going to do is I need to make some modifications. And before I move this chart, I want to resort this particular table. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort it based on the total profits made by each category. So one thing to take note of is that I'll be sorting by this particular column. All right. And so notice that all of my headers here, right, are all equal. All are repetitive, some average, some average. The one that I'm going to want to pay attention to is the second to last sum. That's going to make sense why I bring that up now. So I'm going to go to data, go to sort. My data has headers. I want to sort by, and here's what I mean. Everything is going to say sum, average, sum, average. It was the last sum that I want to sort by, and I want to sort largest to smallest. There we go. Now, I have an error here, or I could have a potential error here. And occasionally what happens is that if you use your formula, I'm going to show this real quick here. I've selected up here, and here I have a formula. And occasionally what will happen is the sort will not work. And the reason why the sort will not work, it has to do with this middle value here in your count if, sum if, average if statement, right? And the reason is because right here, if you'll notice, I'm only including the cell reference, which is B5, in this particular formula. If by chance you have the sheet name, in this case, my sheet name is category analysis, inside this formula, you could have potential for an error. So the way that you would fix that, if the sheet name is right here as part of this, you would just remove the sheet name. An example sheet name here says data transactions, and there's the exclamation mark. Here's also the other sheet name, data transactions, exclamation mark. So you would see category analysis, exclamation mark. Make sure that's removed. That will probably be the cause of errors if you're seeing errors at this point. Okay. So this is sorted well, and you notice that my chart now is set up so where it has the greatest to the smallest, and I sorted this based off of profit. Okay, so I know profit is the blue because it's the, well, I sorted out profit, by the way, and I just made a mistake in my statement. Profit is actually going to be this particular value. How do I know that? Because of this value right here, 169, which is going to be about right there. So I know that the gold is my profit, and then the blue is my sales. Okay. By the way, if you happen to sort this by sales dollars instead of profit dollars, you'll notice the outcome should be relatively the same, right? So if you look at how this is sorted here, this is also sorted from largest to smallest. It may not always be the case, but in this particular case, it works out. Okay, it should be pretty close if it's not. All right, let's get to work. Let's move this to our trend charts. Okay, let's go ahead and click it into the proper location where we want it, right? And let's kind of make some modifications so that way this looks appropriate. So I am going to look for something here. Possibly what I want is, I think that might get me where I want to be. Yes. So now I've noticed a couple things here. In this particular chart, I put profit to the left and sales to the right. That's okay if yours does not match exactly. I mean, the example that I'm doing in this video is just the opposite. So, well, let's confirm that one more time. So the bigger number is sales, and the smaller number is profits. So sales is to the left, profits is to the right. And here, profits is to the left this time, and sales is to the right. Your chart does not have to match perfectly. So don't try to make the adjustments so that way that they are swapped. So please take note of that. You do not have to match those. All right. So that's pretty close. And I forgot why I kept going back. All right. So a couple things that I need to add. I need to add a chart title. I need to add a legend, and I need to be able to identify the category or product type. Okay, so chart title. Well, first of all, let's go back to the chart axis, which I only want the horizontal. And this is product type. And annual product performance. Okay, and then here I want to go to okay. All right. So you can make some modifications to this chart to your preference, and we'll continue on in the next video.